And yeah, I just want to welcome Matt and Sam from the Bet Your Beans team to the Future Lounge. Guys, if you'd like to introduce yourselves and tell us a bit about the project.
Hi, I'm Matt. I am the CEO and founder of this project. And Bet Your Beans is a peer-to-peer social betting app where you can play against your friends. We're going to be creating smart contracts for every single bet that we create, and that giant pot is held by the people who create the bet. We do not hold any of your money, and that's the long and short version of it. And I've been in this space probably around a year and a half. I kind of got in last year. One of the shows I was working on, somebody introduced me to SafeMoon, and made some good money, lost some good money. I was a project manager on Grimace Coin for a little bit there, helping kind of get them all organized and trying to bring different things to the table. And I realized that, if you want to do something and innovate and push, you need to do your own thing and stop relying on other people, because the space is populated with people who just want to hide in the shadows. And I was like, shit, let's go build a real business. Let's try and make something different that you haven't seen before. It's the shortest I've ever done.
No, fantastic. No, perfect. Sam, if you want to come in as well and introduce yourself to the community.
Absolutely. My name's Sam. So I first met Matt through Grimace there. I've been in the space for about a couple of years now, but mainly just as an investor. I worked doing a little bit of work for a couple other projects. Nothing too major there, though. But I really liked the way that Matt operated when I saw the way that he operated at Grimace Coin. And then we got to talking afterwards, just began chatting, and we kind of really coalesced on a lot of these aspects of transparency, wanting to make sure that we were fully ourselves and tried to treat any project we would work on as a company. Started talking about this project he had rattling around in his mind about Bet Your Beans. It's something I had sort of considered a similar idea when I was doing some development for projects in school. And then we just kept getting to talking and started fleshing it out, and it became bigger and bigger and bigger. And then we sort of moved on. So Matt invited me onto the team there, and haven't looked back since. It's been pretty exciting to be able to work on this. So it's just super exciting. And again, Matt will be doing most of the presenting, but if you have any questions in the chat or anything, I'll be popping around and trying to answer those as we go along too.
Amazing. Well, like I mentioned, when it comes to the question portion, there'll be a lot of people typing in chat. Unfortunately, we don't always get the chance to answer them all in VC. So yeah, would massively appreciate it if you see some nice and easy ones to get those answered in chat. That'd be fantastic. Well, amazing. Wonderful introduction into yourselves. So really do appreciate that, guys. Matt, you talked a bit about and kind of teased a bit more about the Bet Your Beans, but to fully flesh it out, get into the meat and bones of it, what will Bet Your Beans be in its entirety, and what benefits is it bringing its investors?
All right. So Bet Your Beans is definitely doing something a little bit different here. I mean, one of the beautiful things that we have is that, we've got CoinFlect on board as our app developers. I don't know if, everybody here probably knows who they are, maybe not, but they build custom blockchain tools. Like myself, they're also Canadian. They've built a legit business. They understand how to do that, how to scale upwards. And so getting them on board was kind of the first part of this, and trying to figure out exactly how we can make a peer-to-peer betting system. So as an example, let's say that me and Sam are arguing, like everybody does, about what we think Bitcoin is going to be at in August next year. I'm going to say I think it's going to be at 100,000. He's like, you're an idiot. I say, yes, I am. But put your money where your mouth is, prove you're right. A little bit of that old school arm wrestling attitude. So we'll go to the Bet Your Beans app. I'm going to say I'm going to make a private crypto bet, right? It's going to open up essentially a lobby. I connect my wallet and I type in my username. He'll connect his wallet. He'll pick a username as well. That username is now locked to our wallet for any time we come back to the app, and it builds our social profile using that. In that lobby, we can discuss exactly what the parameters are. We've got the top 10 cryptos to pick from. We'll say Bitcoin, August next year, this time and date, it's going to hit $100,000 by then. We'll put in the pot. Let's say we put in $1,000 each, and then we sign that off. What's going to happen is now we're going to take 5% of that $1,000 of each of them, and that's going to go to the dev team to continue to build the dApps, to pay for marketing, and to continue to push forward, and also to the staking platform. which is very important. That's a giant part of Bet Your Beans is the passive income. That other 95% is going to get sent off onto the Binance Smart Chain and held there. So what we have is we are essentially factory deploying a smart contract for every single bet that is created. What that means is that your money is 100% safe because we do not control that 95%. So it's going to make a custom contract for me and Sam from our betting parameters. It's going to send the money off and hold it over there until our custom crypto API that's tracking the specifications we put into that contract, it's going to say, oh shit, look at that, Bitcoin just hit $100,000. Boom, here you go. Sam, you're right. Matt's an idiot. You win. He can come and claim that 95%, right? So that 95% of that pot is in a contract that you guys essentially own. You can't modify it or do anything like that, but we cannot get access. Let's say you have somebody come on board, they want to drop $1 million bet, and they're balling. That money's just over there. That's safe. We have nothing to do with it. So that's the basic use of the app. We're also going to be allowing open bets, so you can list it, that anybody else can see that bet, come on board, talk to you in the lobby, and then take you up on something like that. And then we've also got custom bets, all within our version 1 of the dApp. And so a custom bet is me and Sam can be arguing about whether he can eat a foot-long sandwich fast enough. I'll say, I don't think you can eat that sandwich in less than a minute. He says, yes, I can. We're going to go in. I'm going to open a custom bet and say, Sam can't eat that sandwich, blah, 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 right? He's going to say, look, Matt, because we can't really track this with a custom API of any sort, he's like, I'm going to get RJ over here, and RJ is going to be the third-party validator because you're going to bitch out on me. And so RJ will come. He can also sign his wallet at the end. Sam devours that foot long. That money should be his. RJ is going to come on board as well. He's already signed his wallet and be like, yeah, that guy definitely won over there. Sam won that bet. So we've got the crypto bets to start, private and open. And then we've also got the custom bets as well. So that's kind of the fun use of our betting platform off the top. What's going to happen is we're also going to be adding a sports API so that we can start automatically tracking and doing the sports bets, right? And that will also be automatically validated, so you don't have to worry anything about it. That bot is going to look at the scores and take care of all that. Now, we are not trying to be a sports book. This is all about man to man, woman to woman, man to woman, whatever. You know what I mean? This is all about, come on, prove you're right against your friends and the gamification that comes with it. So on the other side, we have the Bet Your Beans token. And so what that is doing is it's going to be used for the gamification elements. So we've got something in our system that we were building called the Bean Score. Think of it like the Xbox gamer score system. Every bet you place, every time you lose a bet, you win a bunch of bets in a row, you beat a friend a certain amount of time, all that is going to give you a Bean Score that pushes you up on the leaderboards for how much Bean Score you have, and that's going to keep track of kind of how active players are. You're going to be getting unlockable avatars, title plates, stuff like that, things that you can spend a little bit of Bet Your Beans on to have as bragging rights. Because this really is all about proving that you're better than other people, right? As well, the Bet Your Beans token is going to be used for the staking. And that's a very big part of what we're trying to do is we believe passive income is part of the wave of the future for crypto and not people buying and selling on charts. And so the way it works with Bet Your Beans is, right now you can also mint our NFTs, the 0.25 BNB. Those have a pegged value of tokens to them. And we use that kind of as our private sale. So you can stake these NFTs, you can buy your tokens and you stake those. And for every buy and sell on the chart or every crypto bet, a percentage is going to be going back into the staking pool to keep that APY high. And so what this means is we are not defining the value of our company on how much liquidity and market cap we have. We are really trying to keep the token and the dApp a little bit separate here. If you believe in the project and what we're doing, you come, you stake your tokens. At the end of the day, is a company or a venture capitalist looking at us going to be looking at how much we have in our liquidity, or are they going to be looking at the volume of what's being used on the app? And the volume is the real thing here. So, everybody in the space is all, I get your gram, I get your friends, get them to buy SafeMoon 2, all this bullshit. And it just doesn't feel right anymore. Everybody's dumping on their family and their friends to try and make a buck. Here, the whole point of the dApp is that all I have to do is get my friends to use the DApp, have a good time, play some bets. You build this community. You find people who want to play with you against sports or crypto betting or other things that are riding down the line, and you earn passive income just by people using the DApp. So at the end of the day, we're not having to sell people on a chart or anything. We're just selling them an experience and a good time, and that's where we're going to see the passive income come back around for our holders. So that's kind of the two separate entities and how we're doing this, but how they tie together. And we really want to lower the bar of entry with BetYourBeans. You don't have to hold our token to place a bet. You don't have to use our token to place our bet. You can literally have somebody come on board knowing nothing about the BetYourBeans token, and they just connect their wallet. They can use BNB. They can use Cro off the top to place a bet, and that's going to get sent off on the Binance Smart Chain and or whatever chain they're placing the bet on, and away they go. Right. So we really want to simplify it. We want you to be able to come on board in under a minute, be placing a bet, and starting to have a good time and experiencing the app. But that's
okay.
The long version of the short version.
No, fantastic. And you already covered a few of the questions, because obviously barrier to entry is one of the big ones, and the fact that, like you've highlighted, it's not a requirement of, okay, you need to hold X amount of BetYourBeans, or, and again, that will, with the value of the token, that can fluctuate, that will have to be varied. And it's another barrier of entry when people are trying to highlight the DApp, but then they have to get into the L2 trades. And they might not want to. Maybe it's, that they're more simpler, primarily L1 users, but you can see that this DApp could be onboarded for them, because at the end of the day, most people are in crypto. We're all degenerate gamblers. We all love proving our friends wrong and thinking that we're smarter than each other. It's just the nature of the space. So, I can see this app working very well in that favor. And I do want to highlight, again, you've got the crypto bets, and the tool there essentially is the tool that you're working in the app is basically a validator for the bet to highlight and to track that, the parameters you've set have been met, to, have the payout. And it's a tool to allow that customizing. In the customizing, you're allowing a validator, a third party to come in and prove, yep, he did do what he said. So, X has been met. And even on the sports betting, the app's going to be able to track the scores as well. So you guys it's not essentially people coming in and betting against the house like we see in most traditional kind of sports betting or other betting, apps or websites. This is simply a tool to validate and then pay out, have a guaranteed payout, almost like an escrow service with those attached parameter tools, but exclusively for peer-to-peer betting, right? So you wouldn't have to go through any of the gaming license or gambling legislation, right? Because I think peer-to-peer betting, you don't have to cover that. All right, you probably correct me if I'm wrong, but I know that's the way it works in the UK at least.
So it's funny because we're in a little bit of a gray area. I mean, so one of the benefits that we have going is the fact that we are not holding your money in any sort of pot, means that we don't need a banking license. We're not taking your pot, holding it in one of our wallets, and then sending it back to you, right? We are essentially a factory deployer for contracts. You're coming to us and you're saying, hey, I want to build a contract between me and my friend. And we say, okay, cool, give us the parameters. So the beautiful thing about that is, we think we operate in a bit of a gray area when it comes to the gambling side, where, we're giving you the parameters you can input, and then we're creating a contract and you own it and it's yours, versus, specifically being a gambling service at the end of the day. So, we're running with that. We're going to see how far along we can get. Like I was saying earlier, like we are prepared to register a company here in Canada, register the company down to the Cayman Islands or wherever else we need to do this properly as we scale upwards and build it into a proper business. If you start seeing a ton of volume and you really start pushing this out there, at some point you're going to have to take those steps. But for now, where we are, we're in a good space. And by keeping it peer-to-peer, yeah, we think we kind of avoid a lot of the regular problems that come with gambling websites, sports books and everything else like that. So,
yeah, 100%. And obviously, the most interesting part, like you said there, it's essentially you guys are, taking in the parameters, creating that custom smart contract for each individual bet that the, individuals are making. When it comes to accessibility to that smart contract, will it be indefinitely locked until the given payout time? Or let's say one party gets cold feet, they realized that 100K, for Bitcoin, let's say, is unobtainable in August. And they're like, look, maybe I had a few too many beers. I was talking my ass off. I actually need this money to pay rent this month. And your friend is like, hey, yeah, it's fine. We can call it off. Will you guys will people have the ability to essentially, if both parties agree, to call off bets, or is there any way to kind of withdraw that earlier than the kind of set payout?
Right. Well, I mean, every time you register an account, we're going to be mailing you a baseball bat to make sure that you can make these bets happen. No, I'm just joking. Please don't beat your friends up. We are going to right? we are going to be we're going to be having like a withdrawal function. So yeah, if you both get cold feet, maybe something happens and you really want to get that money out, and you can talk to the friend. As long as you both agree to it, yeah, you can always withdraw your money out. But you can't do it without the other party agreeing to it, right? So, but that option is there, because who knows what's going to happen, or COVID 2.0 hits and your sports teams get shut down all of a sudden. Well, how are you going to make that bet for the weekend, right? So yeah, there's always going to be that option. We don't want to like penalize people for using the platform at all either. So it's, we've taken the 5%. Yeah, you guys both don't want it in there. Go ahead, withdraw it. That's fine.
Okay, fantastic. And obviously, we've highlighted as well for the BetYourBeans holders when they're utilizing the app, there's zero barrier to entry. So even if I don't hold the tokens, I can come in and utilize the app and do all the betting functions. But you mentioned that there's certain tools that I can spend my BetYourBeans on to customize, customize my nameplate, logo, avatar. In terms of any exclusive benefits or additional features, are you making any kind of additional features or exclusive benefits that would benefit sole BetYourBeans holders when they interact with the app itself?
So we've had some mild discussion about what we can offer people a little bit further down the line. I mean, what we have to do first is we have to build this essentially friend platform called Be the Best platform. Now that's not going to be available at launch, but it's something that, as we continue to push forward and scale, that we are going to be trying to get in there sooner rather than later. And that's really where we want to up the social interaction of the platform. This is where, we want you to be able to add a friend, you add a rival. I can click on Sam's name and I can see what his betting ratio is in sports or in crypto, what his his win-loss ratio is against me, that type of opportunity, right? So being able to direct message friends, game invites, the Be the Best platform really is the next step to being able to look at other users and see what they're betting on and how well they're betting, and also be able to challenge people. So I could go onto the platform and see that this guy's the #1 crypto bettor on Ethereum. He's betting on the charts and he's never lost a bet. I can go send him a nice, high bet and try and challenge him to that, right? So the Be the Best platform is kind of the start of this, the larger gamification and social settings. So that is where, like, being able to buy things to have on your account that show that you're really good is going to be a big part of the ecosystem, and sharing that to your friends and be like, check out this avatar I got because I just got 10 Bitcoin bets in a row. I'm killing it right now. So that's a little bit more about the gamification and the effects of using BYB. There are things down the line that we are looking at potentially to bring extra benefits to BYB holders, whether it's like a second line of NFTs that you can own that will give you, less fees. We've talked about maybe whether we do some stuff where, like, if you play a certain amount, maybe you'll unlock something, maybe you'll get like a cheaper betting fee, like a card that you can use for one bet. So there's a bunch of little elements that we want to add to it, much like you would in any sort of gaming platform. But those haven't really been fully fleshed out yet, because we're really just trying to focus on getting the fundraising done for V1, get that out of the way, and then we'll start scaling it into those other platforms. But we're definitely going to be catering to the BYB holders, because at the end of the day, we're nothing without our investors, and they're a huge part of what we're trying to do here.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, and it makes sense. I think it's the whole thing of, don't do everything immediately at once, because you'll never flesh out everything perfectly, and it can leave a lot of gaps, bugs, exploits if you're trying to overwhelm yourselves. And also, you want stuff, features, development happening later down the line that people can get excited for. There can be resurgence updates that will attract a lot more volume people in, especially once people are showcasing, their exploits on leaderboards and being able to highlight that, they're the top, like you said, the top bettors in the community. Again, a lot of people want to be able to prove that they're the best, and you're giving them that platform then to showcase that not only just to their friends from winning bets, but to the wider community as well. Fantastic. Well, I know there's other aspects of the project that we haven't mentioned yet. One key one that I want to get into is the NFTs, because you guys have some NFTs for sale that are currently being available for mint, if I'm correct.
Yes.
Can you touch on why you guys came out with an NFT line, additionally to obviously the native tokens that you're raising, and what benefits NFT holders will receive?
Right. Yeah, so the NFTs were kind of created as essentially a private sale to raise money for marketing to try and do the pre-sale. And we wanted to kind of give people an opportunity to come on board at a really great rate, better than pre-sale essentially, for staking purposes. And so what we've done here is you can go to mint.betyourbeans.com, go check it out. The 0.25 BNB each. Every NFT that you mint, you have a chance of getting like a bronze, silver, gold, or a diamond NFT. And you're going to get anywhere from 15% to 60% better than pre-sale value of tokens for what you're paying. And so what we've done here is we've actually pegged the value of tokens to these NFTs. We haven't actually taken a part of our supply and put it on the NFT, but we've pegged the value of it. So if you go buy one of these NFTs for 0.25 BNB and you get a diamond, you're actually going to get around 0.4 BNB worth of token value pegged into it. So you'll be able to stake these NFTs on the staking platform that the CoinFlict and Death Panel guys are currently building, that we're going to have ready before we ever launch on PancakeSwap. And nobody's done anything else like that with NFTs in the space. Again, we're trying to innovate, trying to do things just a little bit differently. And we wanted to offer something to people who are like, I like what you guys are doing. I think this is really unique. I want to get in on the ground floor for passive income. Now, the one thing about these NFTs is that you cannot, because there's not actually tokens in there either, you can't sell any of these tokens. But the value of that NFT is going to scale upwards with the chart, because when you get to 100x later on down the line here, the value of those tokens in there is going to be scaling with our market cap. So the NFTs are going to go up with our market cap and have pretty high resale value if you ever want to get rid of them. But take a look; they're really nice looking. We wanted to build something we'd be proud to have in our box that looks pretty sweet to own. So, but yeah, that's kind of the first line of the NFTs that we're doing right there, and those are the founder NFTs.
Okay, awesome. And to highlight, in terms of that staking utility that comes with the NFTs, essentially the additional, pegged tokens that are being raised from, the value of whichever NFT you have, those staking rewards, are those coming back to the holders and they'll be physical tokens that they can trade, do what they want with, or is that just increasing the value of the NFT per se? So like you highlighted there, when the value of the chart goes up and the value of the token goes up, these NFTs will essentially be worth more tokens.
So what it means is the amount of tokens that are on those NFTs are never going to change. It's consistent with buying in the pre-sale, just with a little bit of extra in there. So that's what kind of makes sure that as the market cap goes up, the amount of tokens in those NFTs still stays the same. So if you want to sell later on down the road, you're going to get a really good share out of what's in those NFTs, right? And as well, they're going to be staked essentially just like here. I'm going to share this. They're going to be staked pretty much just like the tokens are, and so you're going to be able to get rewards back in BNB. Again, we wanted to keep it nice and simple. You get the money back, the passive income from whether you're staking your tokens or the NFTs in BNB. So it's your money, it's your pocket change, it's your whatever you want. You guys control that. We simplified it. Why give you Bet Your Beans, then you have to go sell Bet Your Beans to try and get BNB. So again, we're just trying to make it, you come in, stake your tokens, stake whatever, and then you just leave it, you forget about it, and we just get people to use the platform and have a good time, and everybody benefits from that.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, wonderful to see as well. And like you said, doing it differently to what we've seen before, especially when it comes to like traditional private sale raises, actually offering, a physical asset that people can do a few things a bit differently with. It's very interesting to see, and like you said, trying to innovate the uses of NFTs in the space, especially when it comes to BSC NFTs. We know that, when you try and launch an NFT collection in the BSC space, we always want utility and uses attached to it. I think the PFP has only ever worked on ETH, and I've never seen it done successfully on BSC. So I'm glad it's not just giving me a shiny new profile picture to add to Twitter.
Right.
Fantastic. Well, I think I want to jump into, before we go into community questions, just a few bits about the timeline, just to get everybody a good understanding. So once the token's gone live, it's free for public trading. What's going to be available for your users, investors to utilize? What's going to be out and launched?
Right. So upon token launch on PancakeSwap, we're going to have our staking platform. You can see here, I'm sharing, these are sample images that RJ sent me of what our DApp is going to look like for staking. So, we've built our own minting DApp for the NFTs. We're building our own staking DApp. We're keeping everything in-house for security and safety. So this is kind of, how it's going to be looking for the staking. The NFTs will be available. The version 1 of the BetYourBeans DApp is roughly around 3 months down the road after we finish our pre-sale here. And this is not a small piece of programming that we have to do here. So, our pre-sale is designed to give us enough money to fully fund, fully fund that DApp, and then give them time to build it, and then also give us time to bring it to the community and run it on testnet and make sure everything works properly. So the 3 months is that's our rough timeline. But again, like, we're going to be upfront and transparent about where we're at, any problems we encounter. Like, we are going to be very active with the community and keeping them engaged and involved in what we're doing. So if that gets pushed or gets shortened a little bit, we'll obviously be letting everybody know what's going on. But yeah, 3 months. 3 months is the goal. If it changes, we'll let everybody know. Obviously, getting through pre-sale here is a big part of what we're trying to do right now. So we're keeping our fingers crossed. The next 24 hours is crucial for us.
Definitely agree with you there. But yeah, good to see, because I think, again, when we're looking at the attention span of a BSC investor, we know people branch into a bunch of different groups. Their attention span can easily be taken away, and when they're waiting, a long period of time, 6 months plus, for utility to come out and be available, that's the equivalent to years. I always say in the BSC space, months almost translate into a year itself, when it comes to how fast paced the space can be. So the sooner everything can be prepared, obviously, to the level and to the degree that you guys are happy with, to make sure it's safe and secure, essentially the better. Love the transparency, and obviously I think community interaction, keeping them updated, keeping them excited, is going to be very, very crucial during those few months. Amazing. Well, I do have a bunch more questions. I will try and hold them back for now, however, because I want to start taking some questions from the community. So, guys, if you haven't already seen in chat, I've gone ahead and pinned it. If you do have any questions for Matt, Sam, and the BetYourBeans team, go ahead, type them in chat. Make sure to tag my username at All for the Ice. Just a few rules to follow. Please make sure your questions are short and concise. I don't need a paragraph introing why you decided this question or how you woke up on what side of the bed this morning. Please just get straight to the question. Makes it super easy for me to proofread. Please limit yourself to one question. Very, very important. I want to get through as many different people as possible. If you do have multiple questions attached, please just choose out your favorite one, edit it down, and just get one question in. If I see that you've asked multiple questions, I'm just going to skip right over you. So I do apologize, but you need to be following the rules, guys. And finally, make sure it's a great targeted question based on the research you've done on the website, on the light paper, with the links that we've been sharing, based on the information that Matthew and Sam have been telling us during the AMA. If I see, again, any generic questions, ones that I've seen in the hundreds and hundreds of AMAs I've done, I will just be skipping over you as well. So make it interesting, make it based on your research, guys. And yeah, let's go ahead and jump into a few of these ones that are coming up. So I want to firstly take the first question from George. And he wants to know, in what ways will your project address or resolve issues when it comes to disputes or any customer complaints with, utilizing the UI of the dApp, or any issues or bugs they may run into? So how are you guys handling it on a customer service level?
So, I mean, the beautiful thing about, most of the bets that we're going to have on the platform are, there should be no customer disputes about anything that is being automated through the smart chain, because at the end of the day, you guys have picked those parameters, and those parameters are being automatically validated. So when it comes to crypto bets and the sports bets, if you guys are having a conflict or dispute, maybe you guys just don't like each other, because we cannot do anything to actually validate what's going to happen with that bet. It's a bot that's automatically going to validate that. When it comes to the custom one, obviously we are going to be expecting some disputes. We're going to be we can't all get along all the time, and so it's going to come down to a case by case basis, where we're going to have to try and deal with some of that stuff, and be prepared to have something that will let them take their it's a hard. I've totally lost my train of thought on that one. It's difficult because at the end of the day, you've made that smart contract. Only you guys can pull your money back out, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to come down to us just trying to, I think, communicate with both sides and have them come to a resolution, and making sure that they understand all options available if they cannot agree on where their custom bet is going or what's happening with it. I think that's really all that we can be doing. Obviously, we're going to be expecting people to have fun, but we're also going to be expecting people to be professional as well. And we will have that opportunity to ban users if they're being offensive and inappropriate and not professional at all as well.
Okay,
but
fantastic.
Yeah. A smart contract's really going to deal with most of it, because we cannot touch that 95%. End of the day, you and your friend will have to kind of come to some sort of terms, and we'll just help find that something that you can both agree on, whether it's both backing out or just waiting for the bet to end.
Okay, fantastic. And great question there, George. Thank you for the question. Okay, next question I want to take is from Carl. They've asked if there's going to be any possibility for users to restrict and cap the amount that they can bet and the frequency that they can bet. Essentially put self-imposed gambling restrictions. We see on a lot of the websites that they impose for kind of gambling safe protocols. People can switch off their account if they think they're kind of venturing, let's say, too far into the deep end when it comes to that. Just to see if you guys are trying to help users out, allowing them to kind of set any restrictions on how much they can bet or the frequency they can bet.
Yeah, I can pop in on this one. This has always sort of been a little passion of mine for it. I've always had it. I do a lot of betting myself. And personally, I don't like the sort of narrative behind it that a lot of these companies try to keep your money in and everything. They make withdrawal incredibly hard for you, so you're probably going to bet that money anyways. We're not going to do that at all. We're going to be definitely looking into limits that you can set for yourself. We're going to be able to flag users that might be showing these sort of signs of maybe problem betting, things like that, so that we can offer support and help for them as well. At the end of the day, we want this to be a safe and fun place, and that's definitely going to be at the forefront of some of the work that I'm going to be doing, because that is something that's been on my mind from the start. A large part of the research I was doing too shows that when you're actually engaged in community betting and community forms of gambling, it leads to a much lower rate of this sort of problem betting habits. However, with the micro betting, it also sometimes does lead to people betting a little bit more than they would, right? So we will have those self-restrictions that you can put on, as well as different flags and metrics, so we can make sure that people that might be slipping into some of these sites get some links to resources or anything if they feel they need it.
Fantastic. And yeah, I think very, very crucial, again, giving people the utility available. If they know they can sometimes, delve into the deep end. I've got friends who love poker, who love other gambling, but they have to self-impose themselves and restrict themselves, either through reminding their friends not to let them buy in on certain tables, or to download the sports betting app again. So yeah, encouraging and highlighting that they can have that possibility. They can set limits for themselves. Would be fantastic. A way to just
absolutely
make sure.
Yeah, I need to set a limit so I can't bet on the Bears anymore. So that'll be a self-imposed limit that I'll put on myself.
It's just like, it's a dream, but you know it's not going to pay out anytime soon, basically. No, fantastic.
The other thing is too is like, you know, all these bets are still peer to peer. So for you to actually make that bet, somebody has to come. You know, let's say you've made an open public bet, and I'm sitting there waiting for somebody to come look at my Chelsea Football Club bet or my crypto price prediction bet. I still have to wait for somebody to come join that lobby, agree to terms before my money ever leaves my wallet too. You know, so you can't just come on board and be like, boom, drop like 10 bets. You have to find somebody to take you up on your bet for whatever it is. You know what I mean? So you can't come. It's not like coming in and just pulling like playing the slots and like 10 minutes later you're broke again. You know, there's still got to be somebody there ready to go up against you on the platform.
Yeah, so, it's not not essentially on a whim betting. It's not 2 minutes later you're 10K down. It's there's going to be a lot of pre-thought and thought while you're setting up the parameters, agreeing to the conditions. You kind of give people time of like, you know what, could I really, should I be really spending 15K on this, or maybe should I lower it down just a touch? Right. Yeah. So yeah, fantastic. Yeah, again, allowing a bit more thought, and awesome to see that you guys are taking that seriously when it comes to the restrictions. Okay, awesome. Well, let's jump into another question I've seen here, which I think ties into that actually quite well. Something I think, Sam, you highlight there a bit about the metrics. This one's from This Is Me 99. They want to know, will there be a utility or feature added to the dashboard which would allow users to track how much they've been making, essentially their portfolio gains or losses, while utilizing the app itself?
It's definitely something that we want to add. As part of the Be the Best platform would be like, how are you doing right now? Are you making money? That's all going to kind of tie into the historical API that RJ and the CoinFlip guys are going to be developing, so that people can keep track of that. And Sam and I have kind of bounced around the idea of almost doing like, was it like copy betting or something, like, how you can do like copy trading where you can follow a guy and kind of trade along the same way. We're kind of looking at this. Yeah. What was that? I can never remember the word.
Tailing and fading is so we're looking at that.
Yeah. Which should be pretty sweet to add. But again, that's again going to be a little bit later on down the road, whether it's a V2 or V3 of it. But yes, I want to be able to go see how I'm doing that week, whether it's the bets or some of the other utilities that we're going to be adding down the line that we can't really talk about, that are going to blow the lid off this thing. So.
Okay, fantastic. We would love to see that, and I'll already be easily pestering both Biney and RJ to see what progress they're making as well, and behind the scenes. But no, fantastic. All right, let me jump into the next question. I want to take for Azekage. I'm going to let him off because he's got multiple question marks in his statement, but I'm taking the first one because all the rest are spin-offs. So Azekage, you're getting one layout. Everyone else, limit yourself to one question, or I'm skipping over it. But he wants to know, as well as the private sale NFTs that are currently available I'm going to get the exact one at mint.betyourbeans.com. Will you be releasing future collections anytime soon, or have any plans to release future collections?
Yeah, we do want to release future NFTs. We're not exactly sure what the second line would be, but it's definitely going to be catering to giving people who are using the platform some sort of benefit. We talked about whether you buy an NFT and then your betting fees are lowered if you're holding that NFT, stuff like that. There's a couple things that we are going to be adding to this platform later on down the road as we hit other markets as well, where you'll be able to, we want you to be able to buy an NFT that's going to give you a certain look and layout for some of the future utilities. So a little bit of customization coming your way, and you're like, oh, I really want to get this kind of gold-plated set here and use that as I'm using the platform, and my platform looks sick. So there's a lot of possibilities for the NFTs, especially as we branch out with the top secret utility we can't talk about yet. But yes, there's definitely going to be benefits for people with the with upcoming lines for sure. We are not going to dive into the details of that too much yet. Again, we'll get the V1 out. We'll see what the feedback is like, see what people like, see what they want, and future updates. And we're going to just work with whatever the community is looking for to find the right path to move forward with a second NFT line.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, and would love to see that, and yeah, be able to get a lot more feedback from the community, what either the holders want to see or what the users want to see, and then tweaking that. And as much as I love Juicy Alpha, I'll let you guys keep the top secret utility to yourselves for now. Hold it to your chest. Again, I'll be pestering you in the other channels to maybe find out for myself. Fantastic.
I'll tell you once we're off this for sure. Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. Amazing. And next question I want to take is from Sunshine, crypto lover. You've given me a paragraph. I'm not going to read through it. I'm really sorry, but try and shorten it if you do want your question answered. Sunshine has got a great question here, actually. He wants to know, when he's creating these custom bets and generates a link, essentially talking about opening up to like the public to see who wants to join in. He wants to know, will only ever be limited to one individual? So it's one person trading with one or betting against one person, or could he essentially customize a bet that would allow multiple parties to come in and kind of, weigh on the side of which, parameter they believe in, or, whether, the prime example that we put out, actually, no, let's do Sam's one. Where if the Bears would win the Super Bowl, let's say, or I'm probably talking Bears as baseball, but American sports confuses me. But essentially, would multiple parties be able to join in on an individual bet for one side, or will it always be one person against one person?
That's definitely in our planned list of features that we would like to add. We're going to start small, keep it simple off the top, but we want to do things like the rug or not, where we would define parameters of what a rug would be. We'll create a Telegram bot to run with it, and a new project comes out. Let's say we got Squid Grow 2.5 coming out, and we'll say, is it a rug or not? You go there, you connect your wallet, you say, yes, I think it's going to rug. You can look at the parameters. Let's say it drops 80% in 24 hours after launch. You can say, no, I think it's legit. You join the no side, so you've got the two sides, and then you just connect your wallet, you put in your money, connect your wallet, put in your money, and then you'll lock it off, and then the bot's going to define. It's going to say, oh shit, look at that, dropped 80%. The yes guys have won, and they get all the money from everybody from the no side. So there's so much that we can do with this, and again, like, we'll be looking for good ideas from the community and ways that we can allow more people to come together and pool their thoughts and opinions into two-sided battles like that. But the world really is our oyster at the end of the day. So that's something that we're going to be looking at for hopefully not too far down the road, because we think that's going to bring a lot of community engagement and a lot of interaction from people, as they're now betting on whether they think a project is legit or not, what market cap it's going to hit, things like that. So it's definitely in our timeline to allow multiple people to get on board some of these bets. And yeah, for sure.
Okay, fantastic. And yeah, definitely we want to see that. And I think it would be a great tool for community interaction and keeping an active way for, the larger community and, I guess especially your Telegram or socials to get involved, for the more widespread, get people adopting, they see that, they share it with their friends, and then, they want to find out more about what else they can do with BetYourBeans. And, they'll find out about the customized betting, the crypto betting, the peer-to-peer. And that could be a great tool and essentially a good entry point for newer people to get well versed in it. Have the virality of guessing whether certain new shit coins are gonna rug pull or not. I can see being a very attractive element for a lot of people in the space. Fantastic. Well, yeah, great question there, Sunshine. Thank you. I think one of the other questions I've seen from a couple of people, but I believe the first person who asked was Crypto Pearl. Was in regards to, will you guys have any sort of referral bonuses when users are bringing, new people, friends, family, other community members onto the app? Will they get kind of any additional bonus or incentive?
Yeah, that's also something that we have talked about. We would like to incentivize people to bring their friends to using the platform. Exactly how we're going to do that, we're not quite sure yet. Whether you're making a pool and people are getting rewards, or they're getting a free bet, stuff like that, where we've got to figure out how to do that without massively draining our wallets as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything costs money if you're going to be giving people money at the end of the day. So we're trying to figure out like the best way to go about some sort of referral system so you can get your friends on board, and the first time they play, you both kind of benefit from doing it. So we're looking at that stuff. We got a little bit of time before we have to really lock that down. But yeah, it's definitely in the discussions right now.
Okay,
that we're
fantastic.
looking into is how to onboard these betting influencers. You see all over Instagram and Twitter, if you're in these spaces, people have thousands and thousands of followers that hang on their every word. So how can we make it appealing for them to bring their following onto our platform? How can we incentivize them and give them the rewards they deserve, right? So there's a few different functionalities that we've been talking about as well that will not only make it really profitable for them to come on, but excited to come on as well. So that's another consideration that we have.
Mhm.
Okay, fantastic. And yeah, I think especially being able to capitalize and target those crowds in these sorts of times as well, attract a bit more an outward facing audience. Again, you've got your L2, crypto investors that are in the BSC space that can obviously, jump right in and capitalize on the app. But, that's kind of moving more into how you guys are going to be a bit more outward facing and how you can attract, the sports betting community, the odds betting community, the guys that might not necessarily be well versed in specifically L2 crypto, but they can see the attraction. Maybe they've got, Ethereum, BNB, Cro locked up in their crypto.com or in Coinbase wallets, and they can get involved as well. So I think very, very prevalent for BNB investors and guys here. We want to get in projects that we know are attractive and can be outward facing to grow our community as a whole, rather than what I lovingly say recycling money within the space, which it isn't always the funnest way to go about it. Okay, well, great question there. Crypto Pal it was, and I think Wilson had a very similar question. So thank you for the questions, guys. I think the next question I do want to take that doesn't have multiple ones attached to it was, I believe, from Ragnar. Let me just get the name up again. Oh no, it was just before that. Yeah, it was from White Wolf. So you've obviously touched on the staking that, again, will bring long-term benefit and passive income to holders, as well as obviously the BNB and, being able to then switch those over to stable coins. I think you highlighted BSD in the website. He's curious to know if you guys plan on having like a loyalty program or anything where you guys can give any sort of additional benefits or exclusive insight for people that hold and maybe don't even sell for a long period of time.
Yeah, we've kind of thought about having like a VIP group for people who've come in early, have one of the NFTs that we're selling right now, and kind of get them into a little bit of a group for people who really believe in the utility of the platform and what we're doing and building a legit business. What the rewards or if there's a loyalty program, how that would work out exactly, we haven't really dove into that yet. To be honest, like we're really just trying to get through our pre-sale here, make that happen, and get the app developed and started on its development journey, and then we're going to be looking at all kind of the little community-based things like that we can be doing as needed, for sure. Also,
okay, fantastic.
One thing we haven't actually brought up is actually our tokenomics at all. So if you don't mind, I'll just dive into that real quick.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think we've answered the good majority of the community questions. So I want to save, at the end portion of this time to essentially go over, some of the more staple stuff that you get in the AMA. So yeah, without further ado, please take it away with tokenomics and we'll jump into a few more details before we let you guys go.
Yeah, so essentially we've got 1 billion tokens. That's our total supply. 51% of our pre-sale is going into the LP. Our taxes at the top are going to be 12% buy, 12% sell, and I believe we're doing 4% of that is going back into the staking platform. So we're going to try and keep that APY high right off the top, right off launch. You're going to be getting those benefits from staking your tokens and your NFTs. 5% is going to be going into the team for the development and the marketing, because we know how important that is to carry this project forward, and then 3% to the LP. So nothing too crazy here. We can always bring those taxes down, but right now we think 12 is a pretty good number for us. And we really want to get that marketing out there as well. That's something we didn't touch on too much. Is we want to build this as a worldwide brand. This is not just a small little crypto project. I've been in the film industry for 15 years. You can check us out. Like go to BetYourBeans.com. You can see me on the website. You can see my film resume. we're building this as a real business and being fully doxing ourselves and putting everything on the line for this. And the way I see it is like you can't build a real business and hide in the back room and yell through the walls at people, just take the items off the shelves and they can send you the money. We're really putting ourselves out there. So with our marketing, we aren't just going to be in Telegram and doing all this stuff locally. We're going to be creating YouTube videos and paying for promotion on YouTube, and not reviews. We're talking filming promo videos with two guys playing pool, trying to sink that 8-ball, and like, I got no money on me, and out of nowhere, Jack from Jack and the Beanstalk, who is our mascot, pops up and goes, "Oh, you want to bet your beans, do ya, lads?" And really have this fun, playful environment coming out in these videos that we're going to really push out there. And I think it's going to be a lot of work and a lot of money, but I think it's kind of the way that this space needs to move to legitimize itself. So that's why a hefty chunk is going to be going towards our marketing as well, because the branding needs to be on point, the message needs to be on point, and we need people to come and see that this is unlike anything else out there in the crypto space, and there's nothing else really like it out there in the real world that is so catered peer-to-peer, playing against your friends, proving you're right, and come back and do it again the next day because you want to prove you're right. So
fantastic.
I segued into my marketing there.
No, it's perfect. But again, highlighting why you're raising those taxes and the tokenomics that you do have set out makes complete sense. As soon as the marketing wallet's drained, that's when you see a lot of projects roll over and be like, well, you guys aren't trading enough, so I'll marketing instead. Which I will see as a very, very poor excuse if you're using it effectively and not spending all your money on billboards next to Elon Musk's house. You should have enough capital in order to attract and incentivize new users and a lot more heads into it. It's just how effective it is and making sure you're pricing it accordingly. But yeah, fantastic. All right, let's jump into just aspects about how people can get involved now. As an investor who might be interested after this AMA, wants to do some more research and wants to know, what stage you guys are at and how they can contribute, where would you navigate them to?
So right now, I'd say you can go check out mint.betyourbeans.com if you like the sound of the NFTs and the passive income. That's going to give us a little bit more money for marketing. But right now we are currently in pre-sale, and so let me just open this up here. Yeah, so we are doing a subscription model with PinkSale. Now, we're going to be honest here. We have a pretty high ask, and people are a little hesitant. It's a difficult market right now, and we understand that. I've spent around, I'd say all in, I'm probably around $25,000 of my own money into this project to develop our dApps, the staking platform, heavy marketing to get involved here. But you can see here that we've got our pre-sale, 53% is going to that, 26.5 to our liquidity, and then we've got this over here that is also being locked up. We did that yesterday. Originally we were doing a 30-day lock of the LP, and that was because we were worried if we only hit soft cap, funds might be a little bit low, and we would want to use some of that liquidity because we were going to just do a regular whitelisted pre-sale. But PinkSale, we had a good conversation. Like, subscription model is the way to go, and you get the most support from PinkSale if you do that currently. But that also meant that we had to give more into the LP. But so you can see over here, we are asking for our hard cap, very high, 14,000 BNB. Our soft cap is around 750 BNB. Now, we just kind of did this yesterday. Yesterday was not a heavy marketing day for us. We know that the subscription models, and this is based on everything we've had with PinkSale, is that the last 24 hours for the subscription models is really, really when it can start to fill. And, we've got the AMA with you guys here. We've got an AMA with Trablad later. We've got an AMA with Duncan. We're going to be doing an AMA with Omar. We've got a Ship Whale group coming up. We've got a lot of big stuff happening within the next 24 hours. So we're expecting to see this subscription start to pop off here relatively quickly later on today. But if you guys like what you're hearing, come on board, throw $50 and throw $100 and whatever you guys want to do. Obviously do your own research, not financial advice, but every little bit counts. And if we don't make it, then we're going to figure out the next step forward from there. But if we don't make it, you get your money back too. So you don't lose anything except showing that you believe in the team and what we're trying to do. It's definitely an uphill battle right now, and I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous. But the community's been really supportive of what we're doing, and we believe in what we're doing as well. So I'm taking everything I got right now and dumping it back in this project to try and get the word out and show people that we're here to build something different. So come join our Telegram, check us out there as well. There's no bad questions. If you're concerned about something as well, just DM us, ask the community. Everyone's pretty passionate in our group there. I think we got like 1,500 people or close to it. So
fantastic. And you raised a perfect point I wanted to highlight. Guys, obviously, as well as this AMA, if you do want to learn more about the project, show your support, please don't hesitate to join the BetYourBeans Telegram. That's up in our latest pin message there. I'm sure some of our admins will be spamming links as well. But yeah, join up, show some love from the Telegram, show some love from the Future Lounge community, sorry. Let them know that Matt and Sam killed it in the AMA. Obviously, the other Sam, you can highlight that I'm amazing as well. It boosts my ego. I love it.
You did pretty good. You did pretty good.
I did all right. Amazing, guys. And yeah, go show some love and support. As always, with everything here, when I do my AMAs, no matter how bullish, like I've highlighted already, I know RJ and Biney, the guys working on, your staking DApp and working with you guys a bit behind the scenes. So I trust them. I'm in on that. But when it comes to your own investments, guys, it's your own money. You need to make sure you're doing your own research attached to that. We're simply here to share and highlight all the wonderful information, get as many juicy details from the devs here and get an opportunity to ask them our questions directly. But when it comes to your own financial decisions, please do as much research as you can, as well as this AMA. Go navigate to their Telegram, check out their website, Light Paper. If you like what you see, consider investing. As always, like you highlighted there, not financial advice, but make sure you guys are deciding whether you like it or not. And yeah, regardless, it takes nothing to go into the community and show some love. So make sure you guys are doing that as well. But no, honestly, to both Matthew and Sam, it's been an absolute pleasure having you in today. Thank you for coming into the Future Lounge, letting us learn more about BetYourBeans and everything that you guys are working hard towards. Honestly, from the bottom of my chest, I wish you the best of luck with everything moving forward. With the other AMAs that you've got to go do, repeat the same information back and forth. I know it could be tiring, but you guys are killing it. Keep up with the great work. And hopefully we'll be showing our support in the background. And hopefully a good number of our Future Lounge community members will be with you guys. I'll definitely be pestering you after this, Matthew, for some juicy exclusives.
Right on, brother. Thank you guys very much. You guys have been fantastic.